Michael Mandel, still
I'm
here.
Bob Diven.
We're talking to you in English, although I know there was some Spanish on before. So hopefully you didn't turn the channel when you saw the Spanish. We're still doing
Здравствуйте. Guten Tag.
Uh-oh, we're in trouble now. They're gonna read us. They're gonna read us. Speaking
Susana Martinez is going to make me report to
yes,
the DMV.
because you're a foreign national.
Confirm that
you're
I
a foreign
have
national.
confirm that my citizenship is
Yes,
correct.
Susanna has finally gotten her way with the people who are foreign nationals who have our New Mexican, our wonderful New Mexican driver's licenses. You know, a guy in the airport did the little light on it. He showed me what it shows. It says New Mexico, and there's little pictures of UFOs on it. If you use one of those lights, I said, well, obviously,
Home of the flea, land of the plague.
obviously we're all aliens. But Susanna finally got something going with, she suspects everybody, and maybe she's right, people coming to Las Cruces to get their driver's licenses. We have a lot of foreign nationals actually living in Las Cruces because Las Cruces and New Mexico, because there's a lot of students here. There's also probably a lot of workers here who we have from outside. I don't know how many. As of today, 1,100 of the 10,000 have reported into her, and I think this has only been going on for 3 or 4 days so far. So it looks like all those 10,000 are on track to report or ditch the whole idea and not come in. What happens if you don't come in with your license? They go after you? What?
I can support the idea of gathering data.
Yes.
We need to have real data on these discussions, right? How many? Is there really a problem? How do you discern that? It's just the way it's happening is so biblical in its nature.
You're a big fan of
New
comedy.
Testament biblical in its nature.
You love comedy.
Everyone has to return to the city of their birth to register with the authorities. I'm expecting
true.
Roman centurions to be at the DMV checking
Where's
people
Canaan?
in.
Do you know where Canaan? You know, there's a new Canaan in New York. I wonder if people from Canaan can go to New Canaan.
There's got to be a Cana, New Mexico. They're in every
I'm
state,
sure
aren't
there
they?
is. It's a religious name.
It's like that
We
Serbian
have all
tennis
the names.
player that showed up in Carlsbad, New Mexico for a tournament instead of Carlsbad, California this week.
Really?
Yes. She's at the airport
See, I'm glad
wondering
I
where her
come to-
ride is.
I'm glad there's an airport in Carlsbad, New Mexico.
She
My
managed to get a flight. Her agent got her a flight to
God,
Carlsbad, New Mexico. She made
Boy.
it to California in time for her tournament, though. That's just so you know.
She must be pretty batty. Oh. You know, I'm glad I come to this show because I didn't know that. You found some good news out. Is that what you found out when you were doing your cartoon research?
That's what I found out.
See, it sometimes
reading the
pays to do
paper will do.
research, especially for the TV show. It helps, as well as this Saturday. Are your cartoons on Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday, every Sunday.
So tomorrow morning, take a look at Bob's cartoon in the Sun News. So we're actually plugging the Sun News as usual. Anyway, licenses, right?
Licenses.
The other thing is that both you and Mark are particularly mad about is she doesn't believe in raising taxes, Susanna. Yet she cut tax, breaks for movies.
She cut the tax break for film productions in New Mexico.
And down here.
Cut it by a third.
So your argument is that by cutting a tax break, you're actually making new taxes for people.
That's the conservative argument.
Yes.
That if it's like that was the whole argument against the Bush tax cuts, letting them expire. That if you let them expire, it's the same as a tax increase.
Right.
And if you cut anybody's tax break, that's a tax increase. So by her own logic, she was vetoing all these bills against taxes, and yet cutting the film tax incentive by a third was okay because all those filmmakers are liberals anyway.
Well, that's right. They're just a bunch of beatniks doing love fests on
And then
film.
the paper, was it today or yesterday, that she's spending leftover stimulus funds that were pulled out from other programs to help underprivileged kids buy back-to-school supplies.
Yeah.
They can apply for that, which
Yeah.
I think is a fine, noble thing. But I think it's a little inconsistent on
helping
her
the
part.
poor.
Well, using government stimulus money federal
Which she
stimulus
would
money,
not
which is
want to
supposed to
do
be
that.
so evil.
It's supposed to stimulate the
But it's okay
economy,
for her
and
to use it
you
to
can't
help out.
accept it from the particular Democrat in Congress. You could accept it perhaps from somebody of your own party in Congress, I suppose. As
Well,
well
you know,
as
they say consistency is the hobgoblin of a small mind.
I
so
know I like
don't-
symmetry, and that really gets me crazy. In
I like
yoga
tension,
class.
actually.
You like tension?
Mm-hmm.
I just gave you silent tension there,
I like,
just by saying
that's a
quiet.
silent treatment.
Yeah. What do you?
I like asymmetrical balance. That's what I like.
I
really.
like. So you're not a Picassoan, because Picasso is always kind of symmetrical in his balance. Did you notice?
Mm.
That's why I like people like Max Ernst. We won't talk about that. We'll talk about the spaceport, which is on the screen now, and there is a. That's one of his characters. It's called Bob. That's his character. A contract for $7.5 million has just gone to a firm in Florida.
Yeah. Oh.
God, there's only 50 states. We only had a 1 out of 50 chance to get the thing. So, you know, it's just not in our cards. Why would we give a contract to somebody in New Mexico?
I
Because
just hope somebody got a good kickback for that.
I'm sure.
That would be the only consolation and
I wonder if
comfort
they're
to
like
me.
a wing of Halliburton, perhaps. You know, right? And that's why Halliburton flies in circles.
It's the left wing. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's a right
Halliburton.
wing. But you can't tell on TV. I can never figure out which
I
is
can't,
left and
I know.
right. It's just backwards. So that's happening. And speaking of flying around, there is something you love: a tiger moth.
There's an
biplane.
airplane hanging in the new Barnes & Noble campus bookstore at
Oh.
New Mexico State. It's the front page news.
That's right. Not that
Of both
one.
local papers.
Both local papers.
An 80% scale replica of a tiger moth
That's what it is.
airplane.
A tiger moth airplane.
Painted in Aggie colors. Not that you knew there were Aggie colors for an aircraft.
But they're
they're-
Aggie colors for an aircraft. And I think what it's meant to symbolize in the Barnes & Noble is the Barnes & Noble building was $14 million, I believe.
Oh, okay.
And school textbooks are rather expensive. So I think the airplane symbolizes your money flying away. We have a special guest. I don't know how this is going to work.
Breaking
What
news.
do I do?
Hold it right there.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, good. How's it going?
I don't know.
That's talking about Florida.
Hi, Mark.
Florida.
Are you in Florida? Is that where you are?
I'm in Florida right now. We're just leaving Universal Studios tours, and having a great time here on the other coast.
The other coast? You mean as opposed to
Yes.
New Mexico coast? Does everybody?
We're on the right coast.
Here's a picture of Mark. Oh, there he is.
That's about the Florida contractor.
So we were
And,
just talking about the person who won a contract to build to finish up the spaceport. They're from Florida. It was a $7.5 million contract. Went to Florida. So you're just sitting there basking in all that extra money, aren't you?
Well, somebody's got to do it. I'm always there when there's money to be grabbed. And
Yes.
anyway, I'll be here for the rest of the week.
Right.
Yesterday we did the Walt Disney Hollywood Studios tour.
By yesterday,
For
you
that,
mean
we did Epcot and Disney and the Magic Kingdom.
what do you got? Like
And
you going there with 10-year-olds or what?
well, I'm with a couple of young kids, but the rest of us are adults. And tomorrow night we're going to go see the Blue Man Group.
Oh,
Oh.
man. Wow. We'll talk about that when you get back because we're seeing it first part of September in Vegas.
Very good. Yes, I know they're going to be there. We're going to see them tomorrow night at Universal. And then
What is-
we're going
what's
to see
the
a Wild
Blue-
Animal Park on Saturday.
What do they do? Do they have any special things when you go see the Blue Man Group if you go in and you're colorblind? Do they do anything? Or you just have to sit
Then they call it the Plaid Man Group.
plaid?
No, actually, we got VIP seats, and we get to go in like 45 minutes before the show for drinks and appetizers. And then when the show is over, you get to stick around for 45 minutes with more drinks and appetizers, and we get to meet the crew and the cast of
Wow.
the show.
Do you get also to sponge off all the blue paint that's been flying around?
Well, I guess so. We're in the seats where you have to wear the ponchos.
Oh, they probably know you're from New Mexico. That's why.
I know. I said, what is this?
Oh.
Is this a Blue Man Group or is this a Gallagher show?
I thought there was watermelon. Really? Anyway, we got to go, I think. Have a good time.
Okay, well,
I'll see you when you
Good
get
talking to
back.
everybody there on Las Cruces, and I'll be back next week to be with everybody on Double Talk.
Uh-oh. Well, we might keep Bob, so who knows? You could fire me. We'll discuss that at our next business meeting. I don't know.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'll see you there then.
See you later.
That's where the paychecks are handed out, right?
Yes. See ya. Bye.
Bye, Mark.
All right, have fun.
Where were we? Oh, man. Well, we didn't talk about anything, do we? What's that?
It's breastfeeding.
Oh, we're going to talk about, we don't want to pass this up, but this is the last couple of days of National Breastfeeding Week. Have you done your part?
I've sent
What
out
is
all
your
my
part?
cards.
Yes, and that's good. It's also, this is tax-free weekend. Those of you who don't like to pay taxes because it just goes to the government and the government then hires you back in your government job, you can save money a tax-free weekend. There's weird things that you can buy and can't buy.
Because mostly you need school supplies, right? Anything to
No,
be
you
used
can buy
towards
like
schools?
you can buy like you don't just have to go there if you're a student or if you have a student. Certain things like any computer under $1,000, you don't have to be a student. Certain types of clothes, you can buy sneakers, but you can't buy high heels. Just in case you're thinking about that, So you
high-heeled
can do that.
sneakers, you probably need to.
We're not
think
going to talk about that. That's good. We'll just go to, also tonight, Janet Masdra has a big band thing at Boba. You've played at Boba many times.
I have.
We've seen you a few of those times.
I've seen Janet perform many times.
I've seen Janet. Those are great. Boba
She's
at
a born performer, so.
great voice. You have a great voice, good sense of humor. The shows are at 6 and 8:15. And you still have time if you want to go to the IHOP over on I-70. You can have coffee with Congressman Pierce. I know that's not in our purview, but you can go talk to him. He will be there until noon, and keep it free coffee with. That's the only thing you get from Pierce because that's your tax money going back to you. Right. Okay. So we have to say goodbye. I want to thank you, Bob, for coming on the show. It's
It's been a pleasure.
We'll have to do this again sometime.
Okay.
We'll have to kill Mark.
You take care of that.
Okay. Bye.